Okay, real quick, I'm going to show you a couple of examples on how to add unlike fractions. Okay, so just like they're called unlike because the denominators are not the same. So for example, here you have to think, okay, 15 and 5, what do they have in common, or what's the LCD? Okay, so think of the word LCD, least common denominator. So when you're looking for the least common, well, just put them next to each other. Do the multiples. 15, 30, 45. Here, 5, 10, 15. And as you can see, they have the 15 in common. That's how you find the least common multiple. So I'm going to make new fractions with a 15 as my denominator. Okay. Now, he was already at 15, so I'm going to leave him alone and just put the negative 1 there. But he was at 5 and he went to 15, so that means it's 5 times 3. And what you do to the bottom, with 5 times 3 is 15, what you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So now you have 3 times 3, and it's a negative there, so I'm going to do the negative. That's a 9. Now you have like fractions because the denominators are the same. So what you do now is just put the denominator, and all you're going to do is add the numerators, the numbers on top. And then just remember your integer rules. When they're both negatives, when you're adding, your operation is addition. When they're both negatives, you add the numbers and you keep the sign. So 1 plus 9 is 10. And we keep the sign negative because they're both negatives, and it's 10 over 15. And then all you got to do is simplify this fraction. So 10 over 15 is the answer, and just simplify it, make it smaller, and you'll have the final answer for that one. Okay, I'll do another one, number 5 here. 7/9 minus 1/3. Again, think about it. Think about this LCD, least common denominator. So think of your multiples of 9 and 3. 9 times 2, 18, times 3, 27. 3, 6, 9, 12. You don't have to go that far. You should see that they have a 9 in common. Okay, so my new fraction would have a 9 as my denominator. And so now I look at my fraction, the previous one, and this has a 9. So then I'm just going to keep the 7. But this guy was at 3 and he went to 9, so 3 times 3 is 9. But what we do to the bottom, we do to the top. So 1 times 3 is 3. Now we have like fractions because the denominators are the same. We don't subtract the fractions, the denominators. We leave the denominator the way it is, and then we just put 7 minus 3. And of course, you know what the final answer should be, which is 4/9. Okay. Let's do one more. We'll do number 7 here. Okay. Again, think about this LCD, least common denominator. Think of your multiples of 9 and 15. Okay. 9 times 1, 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 3 is 27. 15 times 2 is 30. 15 times 3 is 45. 9 times 4 is 36. 15 times 4 is 60. I still don't have anything in common. 9 times 5 is 45. Okay, and now you can see that they do have a 45 in common. Okay, so then I'm going to make new fractions with a denominator of 45. Let me not forget there's a negative here in the front. Okay, so now they're both fractions that we need to multiply something to get to the new denominator. 9 times 5 is 45. So what we do to the bottom, we do to the top. That's 20. 4 times 5. 15 times what gives me 45? Well, 15 times 1 times 2 times 3. So then what we do to the bottom, we do to the top. 2 times 3 is 6. And here, sometimes we struggle with this kind of problem, so we use the strategy of KCC, which means keep, change, change. So you keep the first one the way it is, so negative 20 over 45. You change minus to plus, and you change this positive number, you change it to a negative. So negative 6 over 45. And now you have like fractions, so now I'm just going to put the 45 ones, and then negative 20 plus negative 6. And so now you have your rules of integers. So when you're adding your operation addition and they're both negatives, you add them together and you keep the sign. So this would be negative 26 over 45. All you got to do is ask yourself, can I simplify it? And if you can't simplify it, I'm not going to do it for you. Okay? But you can simplify it. That's just a way to do the problems. And good luck with the rest of the problems. They're all the same, basic, same thing. Just remember, find the LCD. Okay, find the LCD. And you find the multiples. By find the LCD, you do the multiples of each one until you find one that they have in common. And then you make new fractions. And then just check, okay, what did I multiply to get the new denominator? And what you do to the bottom, you do to the top. Okay? Good luck. Bye-bye. Adios. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.